some of their studies from the past since COVID to go along with the public health. And then now selling the masks as a one-way solution. So it prevents transmission from the wearer, but doesn't actually protect the wearer.
Yeah,
So,
I write about that, the covering up and the hiding of articles on the World Health Organization website. I give a good example of that, and also this complete fantasy of the magical one-way mask. I talk about that in my article. This idea that you could put a piece of cloth on your face and it will not prevent aerosol particles that are laden with from coming into your lungs, but then when you breathe out, it will stop them, so that you're doing so-called source control. Okay, it's completely against the physical principle of how aerosol particles carried by the fluid air that go around the mask and go through the big pores in the cloth mask and so on, how that works. I mean, the same route of input is the same basically as output, except that the mask moves a bit when you're breathing out and all this kind of stuff. But basically, there's no such thing as a freaking one-way mask. Okay,
right.
there's no measurement that shows that, except if you're talking about coughing large droplets out. It's like if you put something in front of your face when you cough, you'll stop the large droplets. That's irrelevant. The transmission mechanism is aerosol particles. That's why this phenomenon is seasonal. Aerosol particles are stable in dry air in the winter in mid-latitude countries. All of the science, decades of science, tells us that these seasonal viral respiratory diseases are transmitted by aerosol particles. That's why it's not person-to-person contact. That's why there are super events of transmission. That's why everything makes sense if you just admit what is now the obvious, given all the research that's been done, which is that the main and dominant transmission mechanism is through aerosol particles. That's also why masks do not work, and that there cannot be a one-way mask, okay? And besides, large droplets, so what if you can stop them? Even if you don't stop them, the fact that they're large, they fall immediately to the ground. They're not going to fly up into someone's eyes unless you're purposefully coughing into their faces. This is there's just so much nonsense, and trained scientists are repeating this nonsense, about the one-way, about source control, as if that was a thing that is plausible. So yeah, that's the kind of crazy world that we're in right now.
Right.